Hello and welcome to Black Hair in the Big Leagues. I'm your host, Salisha Thomas. Y'all, today we have a bona fide superstar, and I'm not being nice, like a real life superstar. Whatever I'm about to say will not scratch the surface of what he has done. He is an actor, a dancer. Wait, he acts, he sings, he dances, he tumbles, he raps, writes, directs, produces. He's choreographed for Beyonce, for RuPaul's Drag Race. He won America's Hearts in American Idol season 9, I believe. He and since then has amassed a following of over 3.5 million YouTube subscribers. What in the world? He just released an EP, Quarantine Queen, and he also has a Netflix documentary out called Behind the Curtain. Y'all, help me welcome Todrick Hall.
Oh my gosh. I've had a lot of intros, Salisha, but I really think that might be my favorite one yet. Hi!
Hi! Oh my goodness.
It's
How
so
are
good to see
you?
you and to speak to you and to soak up your energy like my good friend. I haven't seen you in so long, but I'm great. Honestly, like this is just like the best dose of like you talking to you is like going to therapy, but also drinking a Red Bull at the same time.
um, Thank you. But seriously, I feel the same. Like literally the last time I saw you, I think, what was it, 2012? No, I've
I
seen you
don't
since. Oh,
know.
no. I've seen you since then on Broadway. But the first time I met you was when we did Hairspray together
Yes.
back in the day, almost a decade ago in 2012.
No. Oh my gosh, was that in 2012 that we did that?
Yes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, it was 2012, darling.
2012. One of my first memories of you is when, oh my goodness, first of all, that was my first professional show. And so it was like really cool to like, oh my goodness, what is this world? I was definitely watching the veterans, obviously you being one of them, like, how does this go? All the things. And one of my first memories of you is when we were all signing like the playbill to make sure that our names were spelled correctly.
Yeah.
And when it was your turn, you didn't just like initial off your name. You penciled in your name above the title. And I thought that was such like a, because especially in hindsight, your name is all like you, it was like you were a master of manifesting. And how, like, was that an active thing or did that just come naturally? Did you know you were manifesting?
I don't even remember necessarily doing that, but it's so funny that I have conversations with people who knew me as far back as elementary school, or the first time I ever took a ballet class and did the Nutcracker, or I don't know. I've just gone back and talked to people that were like, "You realize that you did do this thing," and I have watched stories and interviews or videos on YouTube and late nights of Oprah talking about The Secret, and I think a lot of the things that The Secret teaches and preaches are things that I have like automatically and just organically applied to my life. And so I think that has to just be another example of one of those times.
It just freaking comes, it's like you're destined for whatever you're destined for, and it just comes naturally, but, like, do you do it more actively now, or does it still just, like, whatever? Because you get
I don't realize I'm doing it, but I do it. I like always am like making being like, right, but we're gonna need this costume because like when I do Broadway shows, I always am getting my costumes because I have them framed around my house and put in drop boxes and shadow boxes because I want people to be able to see them later. I want my kids to be able to see the things that I did and participated in and experienced in my life. And I think that those things sometimes when people come, they're like, it's a Todrick Hall museum here. And I don't intend for it to be that way. And I think some people could look at it and be like, wow, he really loves himself. But I just love what I do. I have always loved this. It's not a job to me. Like, I still get so excited when I'm about to take the stage on Broadway. And there are people that'll be like, oh, darling, it's a check. It's just another show. You go from
Right,
one theater to the other. But that's not what it is to me. To me,
right.
it's like, it's my passion. It's the one thing I think about is the moment I wake up in the morning until the moment I go to sleep. I love theater. I love performing. I love everything that has to do with performing arts. I just love it all so much. So um, I think that that's just where like I don't know. I think so much of who I am comes out in every little thing that I do, even if it's just signing my name to make sure that it's spelled correctly in the playbill.
Like, seriously, it's bomb, and it's something, like, very admirable, especially seeing where you are now. And also back in the day, so you I don't know if you remember making this video, Ghetto Gangnam Style.
Yes, I
It's
do.
the it's the one video that I was a part of, and I was like, "Sorry, Todrick, I have class. I have to go to school." You were like, no, you
Skip
don't."
that. No, you don't have to go to class.
Right, and you know what? You were like, "Okay, it's Ghetto Gangnam Style, y'all. Like, I need y'all to look ratchet AF." And do you know that, like, back in the day, my version of looking ghetto and ratchet was just, like, having my hair not straight, having it like, I was like, "My hair is natural," so that's how I thought of my natural hair back then.
Yeah.
Um, and PS, I just, interviewed Tiana the other day too.
Oh, really? Oh
I
my God, I love
did!
her. Who was also
Right?
in that video, I think. Yes, she
Yes,
did it as
that's where
well.
we met.
Yes. It's so funny to me when I think about those videos, and there's been like a lot of controversy online, and I usually don't even talk about this, but I think this is an organic way to bring this up. And when I did those videos at the beginning of my career, like Beauty and the Beat, and it was talking about all of these characters, and I did a Snow White and the Seven Thugs, and I did videos where I would take um classic fairy tales and make them like overly like a caricature of like what people thought being ratchet or ghetto was. And in that moment, I thought it was funny, and the people who were with me, who were all African American people, thought it was hilarious. In some ways,
Right,
I do think that stereotypes are funny. I've gotten the same flack, by the way, from the gay community for doing things that are over stereotypically gay, but I started to get a lot of flack from these people saying, "Who's laughing at these conversations? Who's laughing at these videos like the Beauty and the Beat, like Ghetto Gangnam Style, like the Mean Girls I did that was supposed to be like an East Compton high school." And so it was one of those things that I was super conflicted by, and I've never taken those videos down because I love the memories that I made with those people, and it was just they were such fun times being on those sets because we were all just like being goofy
and having
but
fun.
yeah, but the times have changed so much. The times
Yes.
have changed, and I'm glad that they have because we are all a lot more woke and a lot more aware of the things that we're talking about. And I think it's such a full circle moment that you were in one of those videos, and now we're talking about how you have a podcast that celebrates people's natural hair, and I just think it's just so full circle. I didn't even think about that moment whenever I decided to do this podcast with you, but I think that's really incredible that we can talk about that now. I don't know.
Yeah, and I also didn't realize there was any controversy around it because, like, your videos are bomb and everybody knows it. It's they're freaking good, and even I am like I'm, like, going down rabbit holes. I need to be doing other things. I'm like, "Ooh, this is good. Let me just keep watching a couple more minutes." Um,
Yeah.
one of the things that I remember back in the day, so I first when I first met you, I had a crush on you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm flattered.
Did not know you were gay until we hung out, and I was like, "Oh, oh, he's gay." And I was like,
He plays
"Oh,
for another team.
he's very gay." And I had no idea. I had no idea. And so my question is this. What was the moment? Because like you had a separation of like your personal life and your public demeanor. And then one day like they met. Those
Yeah.
two when was that moment that you decided like I am just going to embrace this truest version of myself publicly? Like what? Do you remember?
I remember it goes in steps, and it's almost like when you are a public figure, like I was already out of the closet before I ever was on American Idol, before I ever went to Broadway or anything. But you feel like you have to come out of the closet again, and it's really difficult, especially during that time, because now we have Pose, and we have had Glee, and we got Moonlight, and we've got Love Simon and Love Victor, and Call Me by Your Name, and all of these projects that are coming out that are celebrating people who are unique and different and a part of the LGBTQ plus community. But we didn't have that whenever you and I were working together.
Right.
And
Right.
so It was really scary, but I remember a few moments. I remember when I got eliminated from American Idol, thinking I would be okay with being eliminated had I been really, truly the authentic and full version of myself on the show. But I felt I got eliminated for trying to be someone else, and that was the
Oh,
part that was so heartbreaking to me. But it's scary. It's scary to come out online and tell people these things because you know that a lot of people look at that as like a handicap. I think that sometimes in this industry, there have been moments where being African American or being gay meant that you were not going to reach the same level of success as the people who were heterosexual or who were white. I mean, that's just like a fact. And there are a lot of people that have defied those odds. There are a few people, but not a
you
ton of
being one of
people.
them.
Yeah, and so for me, I had to make a conscious decision to say, you know what, and it's all also about the responses that I got, the comments, the DMs, the messages from kids in these like rural small towns saying, I have the confidence to come out because you did this. And I think the first time I went on tour, it was, like, so eye-opening because I had never really experienced fans in that capacity. I had only done live theater, and when I came out on stage and the audience screamed because they saw me on the stage, and I realized that they were experiencing what I felt the first time I saw Raven Simone live and in person because I just love Raven Simone so much. When I realized that that was what they were experiencing, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a new responsibility, Todrick, that you have to take on." And I would do meet and greets, and the meet and greets are probably the thing that changed my life the most because looking into their eyes and seeing that the fact that I was brave enough to wear a dress or wear a wig or sing a song about a boy and use a pronoun, as we as gay people, we have to like work so hard to try to find songs to even play at our weddings because there are no people that write love songs where a man says the word he or him or boy or man. It's very difficult for us to find. All my favorite love songs are by women singing to men or men singing to women. And
Right.
so I didn't realize that me singing the song Color or me singing Over the Rainbow in my Straight Out of Oz album were things that were going to impact people's lives so different, so drastically. And so it just made me realize like there used to be a world in the entertainment industry where people just admired like this like facade that you were perfect, like not a human. When Michael Jackson was like floating out of the sky, people loved that and they didn't really feel like they were entitled to know anything about his personal life. But Salisha,
That
the times have
that's
changed
that's totally a thing of the past.
and people
People
feel
feel
like they
like,
know.
yes,
They feel like they deserve it, and if you don't give them your true, authentic everything, if you don't tell them everything that you feel, then they don't feel like you're relatable. They don't feel like they wanna hang out
right,
with you, that they can be your friend, and in that case, they don't wanna support you anymore. But it's a slippery slope because if you say
right.
too much or you say something that this year in 2012 might be appropriate, and in
And then
2020.
nothing is appropriate. Everything is very sensitive. Like, you don't know what the future is gonna be. But
Yeah. So you
yeah.
gotta be vulnerable without being too vulnerable because something you could
God,
say could get you canceled or get people to try to
in the
drag you on the
future.
internet. So it's scary, but I think you have to. I'm learning that you have to lead with your heart. And I know that I'm going on a tangent from your question that you
Nope,
asked,
that's okay.
um, but I do think that it's really important now. I've realized that living my true authentic self and like being as vulnerable as I can with these kids is the thing that has been the most powerful for me because right now they don't need a bubblegum sugar-coated truth. They need to know what it's really like to be out
Right.
here in these streets as a gay man, as a black man,
Yes.
and especially if you're both. It's a difficult world. It's not easy to navigate,
I
and
think
I
it's
love
easy
that
to
I can help them.
like when you it's easy to feel alone, especially during this pandemic, like no one understands you or whatever. And so
Preach.
seeing other people either going through what you're going through, you're like, oh, I'm I'm not the only one. Or,
Yes.
like I watched your documentary and there was a little boy that you brought on stage from Michael Jackson.
Oh,
And he was like, and one of the things that he said, he was like, and you're the same color as me.
yeah.
Like the
That just made me
same shade
feel
of
to
chocolate.
hear
Me
that.
too. Like like the same shade of chocolate. Like he was excited because I'm like, when we were growing up, Todrick, like I actually don't, I can't think of anybody who was black and gay and out on TV or anything. And so I can only imagine this generation, like, at least they have you. Like
Well, they have me, they have Billy Porter, they have, Karamo, they have,
RuPaul.
um, RuPaul, yes, and a lot of the queens from RuPaul, like Shangela, Monet Exchange, Bob the Drag Queen, the Vixen, Nina Bonina Brown. They have so many different people that represent, like, the rainbow that they can go to and see different versions of themselves. Because it's a lot of pressure also to be one of the very few people, the handful of people that are representing for gay black men, because my experience has not been the same as everyone's. I can't speak for everyone, but I can
Right.
try to advocate and I can try to get into the rooms and stand up for and speak to people, and hopefully get some people to listen. And that's what I try to do with not only my message and me meeting people in person, but with my music as well.
Right. Oh, and I wanna get into that, but one of the things I wanna ask you is, like, when in your art, you come off as, like not come off, you're yourself and you also dress up. You
Yeah,
do all of it. There is no box. You're like, "Today, I feel like doing this." Okay, what
yeah.
was the first time that you ever put a wig on ever?
I don't know if I remember the first time, but I do remember that I think that the first time I was ever in drag on my YouTube channel was the Beauty and the Beat video, and it was just me putting on an eyelash, and lipstick, and a wig, and that was it. But I was even nervous to do that, and it's so crazy because the world can make you feel like you're wrong for doing this thing, and that it's not
Yeah.
okay for you to dress this way. And even if you're somebody who's been out of the closet, I came out at 14 years old, so I came
Oh,
out really, really early,
wow.
and even still today, there are moments where I can feel uncomfortable performing nails or hips heels at an event or something, and having to wear my heels. And I'm in my 30s now, and it's just strange to me to be in a world where, like, those wounds and the sticks and stones that you got that were thrown at you as a kid in elementary school on the playground, where people called you sissy and faggot and all these horrible things, those words stick with you for so long, and they're so much
Yes.
more impactful and powerful than people can possibly understand. Even at that young of an age, it's still
I
difficult to shake it.
I can't imagine why it would be or how. I truly like for you like these are hits. Like I love that song, you know? It's like I'd be like, "Yeah, I wrote that song. I performed that song." Like
Yes.
that's me. But like yeah, that's I truly cannot imagine out of all the Broadway shows you've done, let's see. Color Purple, Memphis, Waitress, Chicago, Kinky Boots. Out of
Mhm.
all those, I know obviously you're wigged in Kinky Boots because you like
Yeah.
and you might have been wigged like man wigs in the other shows maybe or was it
Yeah, I had
always
a
your
wig in the African scene in The Color Purple because I was in the original cast of, I mean, the original production of that. And then I had the only one that I haven't had a wig in is Waitress in Chicago.
okay? So when I saw you in Kinky Boots, you looked so beautiful. By the way, like not everybody can
Thank
be a
you.
beautiful Lola. Like you were like slaying. I'm like
Thank you. Aw.
get
I loved
it.
being a part of that show.
How
I
was
loved it.
it? How was
It
it
was
working?
life-changing. It was life-changing. It was honestly, I will never forget, the opening night, going out and feeling my fans fill the room and scream at the top of their lungs when we came out. I was the most nervous, I think, for that show that I've ever been, because it was the accent, it was, like, all of the costume changes. I never got to rehearse the show with the actors that were doing the show until
Right.
we did it on stage, because for my put-in, 2 of the main actors, my Charlie and my Lauren, weren't there. So I never really, like, got the opportunity to do the whole show with them, and I'm just a perfectionist. I didn't wanna miss
Yeah.
one line, I didn't wanna miss one costume change, I didn't want there to be anything uncomfortable, and I remember getting into my hair and makeup and hearing the cell phone ring that starts the show. There's like a little cell phone, like a little skit, a little gag that they do to get the audience to focus and remember to turn their cell phones off. And I just remember my heart dropping and my body getting full chills. And God bless Lasagna, who it was my makeup artist. She stopped me and she said, "No, don't go there. Breathe, relax."
Okay.
And I was like, "Okay, I can do this." And I felt more loved than I can remember ever feeling in a theatrical experience when I walked on that stage. Like the second I got on stage, I knew I could do no wrong. All of the nerves went
Mm.
away. I knew I was prepared for this. I knew that everything that I had done in my life had gotten me to the point where not only was I like I was made for that role, and the role spoke so much to who I was. It felt like a very true representation of my relationship with my father and my struggle with wearing heels and wigs and costumes and stuff. It's been such a crazy journey, and so being in Kinky Boots was amazing. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life.
I didn't see you on your opening night. I saw you somewhere like midway through your run, I believe, and you had us in the palm of your hands.
Oh,
It was
thank
bomb.
you.
It
I
was
loved
bomb.
that character. I love that music. I love the team. I love the producers. I loved,
Good.
loved, loved that cast. It was
Oh,
just,
so I have a
yeah.
question about Broadway. Like,
Okay.
and think back, out of all the shows that you've done,
Uh-huh.
have there been any people of color who have helped with hair and makeup that you
Yeah.
good?
When I did
Okay.
The Color Purple, a lot of the people that were on the hair and makeup team were African American. I think that the hair was so specific in that show that it would have been difficult for a team of white people to be able to maintain those hairstyles. And so I
Right.
remember that a lot of the people on the team and my makeup person in Kinky Boots that did my drag makeup was a African American female,
Awesome.
which is crazy because it's very rare that I see women who are able to do drag makeup because it is a completely different experience. You can be a phenomenal makeup artist, but for you to be able to um, I don't want to say contort, but like change the features that make a man look like a man stereotypically, like the strong jawline and the eyebrows and whatever, and turn that into something that looks even
Cute.
remotely feminine. Yeah, it's difficult to do, and she just did a really great job of doing it and doing it fast. And but I will say that most times, I would say that there were African American people on the hair and makeup team, on the hair team for Color Purple, and then just makeup for Kinky Boots. But now that I'm thinking about it, on all of those shows, I think those were the only two that I can remember that had anybody that was African American on the team.
Ooh, which is, like this is something that we've been talking about within the community, the Broadway community. Just like there's people of color in so many shows these days, and there's not always people who like know what to do, or like there's not like black hair products, or like a pick, or like,
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
but hopefully that there will be like some reform in things. I want to know now, um, when did you meet Rue? Like, how did that relationship how did like, that's a how did you meet RuPaul? How did that relationship, like, happen?
It's a really funny story that seems not real, but I'm just gonna tell you what actually happened because it's very simple. I literally got a phone call one day, and every now and then I answer a call because I just feel like the universe is speaking to me, that where I don't know the number, and I picked up the phone call, and he said, "Hello, it's RuPaul. I'm coming to
No.
pick you up. What's your address?" And he
No!
Yeah, and his team had already told me he was interested in possibly meeting me and working with me and doing some video work or something. And it had always been a dream of mine to be just a guest on the show one time. And I just fell in love with him. He took me to eat probably the most disgusting meal ever, and it wouldn't be disgusting by anyone else's standards. I'm just very unhealthy, so it was just a very healthy meal because Rue is
Oh.
he's a really healthy person. And we sat down and talked, and I would not stomach a salad that looked like that ever for anybody, but for RuPaul, I attempted to eat it. And
Oh my
we just hit
gosh.
it off, and he was just really sweet. And he has just been, I get emotional talking about Ru because he is just like a living, breathing icon. The things that he
Yeah.
did and the courage and bravery that he had in the 80s and 90s to be so unapologetically himself when it was not cool and when there was not social media and there was no awareness and responsibility for people to respect people like RuPaul. He was a champion and a trailblazer for people like me. Like I am able to do what I do because people like RuPaul existed. And when I say like RuPaul, I pretty much just only mean RuPaul. I don't know
Right.
very many other like African American um trailblazers that were able to make such a huge impact. There are a lot of people who were around and made music, and they were able to affect change in some way that they didn't even realize, because now we're still talking about them. But he was just and is just such an amazing human, and every time I get to work on the show, I go into his dressing room while he's signing his books or whatever, and he'll talk to me, and he'll just give me like little words of wisdom that I will always take with me, and I never forget them, and I use them and apply them to everyday life. It's like I go there and I get medicine for me to last until the next time I get to be in the room with him. And I just am so beyond grateful that I was blessed enough to be able to know him and to be somebody that he has chosen to collaborate with and do songs with. And it's one of the highlights of my life, the fact that I just know RuPaul and I can turn to him for advice.
It's that is so cool, like, on a personal level. It's also cool to, like, turn on the TV and be like, "Oh, Todrick!" Like, I think you'd been on the show quite a few times, and before the first time I saw you on there, I was like, "Oh, when'd you get on there?"
Oh my gosh, that's
It's
hilarious.
it's cool, it's cool. I remember I was in American Eagle and trying on some jeans that did not fit, but I was trying to fit up in it anyway, and I was like, was it nails, hips, hair, that was it that
Yeah.
song? It was one of them, one of your pop, like, it was a bop. I was like, "I love this." I feel like, "Oh my gosh, this is Todrick."
That's always so crazy to me when it plays on a radio station somewhere just because the DJ just loves it, or it's Pride Month, or when it's at a gym or in a restaurant and my friends call me freaking out. It feels like those moments when I used to watch the Jackson 5 movie and watch them hear themselves on the radio for the first time. It's just such a surreal thing, and I feel honestly so grateful. I cannot believe that it has happened to me. Like, there's so many times that I'm like, this just doesn't feel real. It feels very surreal, and I'm so grateful. I think one of the happiest moments of my life is when the article came out with Broadway World saying that Kinky Boots had experienced a huge spike that they hadn't seen since the first year that their show had been opened. The ticket sales just flew up so much because I was
Wow.
in it. And there was a part of me
What?
that doubted myself and doubted my fan base, even though I know they support me. But I'm like, these tickets are expensive and it's in New York. My fan base is
Yes.
really strong when they can watch me from their living rooms. But is this going to translate to people who will travel to New York or who are in New York who will come back to see Kinky Boots again because I'm in it? And when I
I was
saw
one of
that,
those.
yeah, it just is so surreal. You're just a human who loves what you do, and to see that other people appreciate that, and not only do they appreciate it, but they're willing to dig into their pockets and spend good money to come and support you. It's just one of those things that I wish that I had words other than grateful to use to describe how I feel about it, but it's just I don't know if it'll ever feel normal to me, but I am just so grateful.
I feel like even though you've done so much, like, you've done so much that even like, when I was thinking, like, "What am I gonna say for his intro?" He's done so much, like, I still feel like you've not even scratched the surface, like,
Oh,
you're barely in, like, you're in your 30s, can you imagine if you lived to 100? Like,
yeah. Yeah, I'm ready now also to go to that next chapter. I'm ready to have my own show on Broadway that I write and star in. And I'm so inspired by Lin-Manuel Miranda and the things that he does, and Tyler Perry and how he has just created an avenue for himself. And I think that the times that I am rewarded in life by the universe and in the entertainment industry and my fandom is when I go and do things that only I can do, and when I like am not afraid, when I don't try to fit into a box or be a cool kid or fit into the norm or do something that everyone else is doing. When I do things that I love and only I could do it, those are the times that I truly shine. And it's so strange how insecurity works and that it can stop you from reaching your full capabilities. And now I'm just at a place where I'm like, I'm ready to like even shock myself to do things that surpass my own expectations, and to sit down and really know that now, even though everything is not fair and equal in this world, there's no excuse anymore. Like, if you are a gay black man, you can make things happen. You can go and you can win all the awards.
yeah.
You can be Billy Porter at the Emmys. You can be Jeremy Pope and be like getting nominated for every freaking
Right.
award that there is.
Right.
And it's inspirational. It's inspiring, and it makes and I never realized how much representation mattered as a child because we never saw ourselves in almost any show that we watched growing up. And I flew to New York to see Brittany take the stage as the first African American Glinda because I wanted to be in the room. Like there was no way I couldn't be there. I changed my plans, canceled things, and work to fly there to support that girl. And
Oh,
I started crying like before the oh my god, I'm getting emotional now. Before the curtain even opened, I heard the entire cast behind the scrim clapping for her as she was like risen up into her bubble. And
wow.
I just was like, even me, who considers himself to be an out of the box thinker and is a humongous, no one is a bigger Wizard of Oz or Wicked fan than I am. I
Right.
own Kristen Chenoweth and Adina Menzel's original
That
costumes
is
from Wicked. They're in my room.
crazy.
Um, I would have never thought that I would be sitting in an audience and see an African American Glinda. And what it did when I looked around and saw the little kids next to me looking at that, I realized how powerful that was. I had the privilege of writing and the honor of writing the newest Disneyland parade called Magic Happens. And I flew in and watched it
Awesome.
and was sobbing because it was the first time I had seen little black girls looking up at Princess Tiana, and Hispanic children looking up at Coco, and people of color looking at Moana, and all of these. It's the most diverse parade that Disney has ever had. Not just the lead characters, but everybody dancing in it, and the music is so much more contemporary and for me to be a part of that legacy was just like a life-changing experience. And I'm just getting to this age now where I didn't use my tear ducts from the time I was like 16 until I turned 30. And now anytime I see a child doing something or accomplishing something, or sometimes when I meet kids at my meet and greets, I'll just start crying, Salisha. I'll just start bawling because I just realize that we are such a beautiful species, but we're just so hurt and we are all trying to live up to expectations that are not realistic. And so when you get through and you permeate someone's heart and you get in to see the true authentic version of themselves, um, it's just heartwarming to me in a way that it wasn't before. So I'm excited to have kids. I think it's a huge responsibility.
Oh my
I'm getting
gosh.
cats today. As soon as
Wait,
I
are you
leave
getting those
here,
bald cats that you were
I'm
like,
getting the
"Oh
hairless
my
pink
gosh." Did you
cat.
figure out a name for them?
Yes, I'm naming them Regina and George.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's amazing. Also, Brittany is coming on to the show next week, and so it'll be nice to tell her that what some of the
Oh, she
Brittany.
is? Oh,
Yeah,
Brittany,
Brittany
Brittany. Okay.
Johnson.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Sorry,
so excited.
Black
Yeah, she
Glinda.
just moved to LA, so I'm hoping that we basically become best friends while she's here.
I mean, yeah, that's the bomb. And
Put in
also,
a good
you said
word for me. Put in a good
I'll
word for me, please.
I'll let her know next week. I'll be like, "So Toddy was like," and also, a girl, I don't know if you know who Ashley De La Rosa is. She was the first Black Regina George.
Oh,
Um,
I don't know her, but I have stalked her because I follow all those like Broadway belting Instagrams, and I've seen
yes,
her, and she's phenomenal.
she slays. Yeah, she came on here too. Um, and so I'm like, it's nice to have you too. I want to ask you about your look at the VMAs with your pink hair.
Uh-huh, my pink locks.
Yes, like, I thought that was baller, and that's, like, a look that I don't think I'd have, like, the confidence to, like, shave the sides of my head or anything, but, like, what was that inspiration? And yeah.
I just went through a phase where I just was like loving the idea of being androgynous because as much as I don't like to like accept that I'm a part of the system, I am a man who keeps my hair short, who doesn't wear nails, who wears pants all the time. And if I'm dressing up for an event or playing a character, I'll wear heels or I'll carry a purse or a wand, darling, whatever it calls
Yes,
for in that
darling.
moment. But
Yes.
I just started saying, you know what? There's no reason why I should have like a taper fade all my entire life because I'm an African American man and that's what I've seen people do. So I grew my hair out and was like, I'm just gonna try a few different things and see what I can make happen with my hair. Um and I liked it. It was cool, but it was very strange. And I only had it for one day because I was in the middle of doing Waitress when I did that. So I
Oh,
finished the eight
shoot!
show week of Waitress, went and got my hair done, did the VMAs the next day, and then took my hair out the next day because I had to play Okie again in Waitress on Broadway the next night.
Did you ask though? Were you like, "Can I please wear these?" Did you try?
Okay. Well, I actually wore them into the show. I those poor stage managers of Waitress, they just I was a handful for them because while I was there, I was shooting music videos, I was preparing for my tour, I was doing the VMAs, and I had 3 Pride events that I had to go to, and I was only in the show for 6 weeks, so
Oh
I
my
don't even
god.
remember being in Waitress. It was such a blur. I didn't get to really bond with the cast, and there were times I shot the wig video and I was like letting them know the show will be started before I get to the theater, but I don't come into the show for an hour. So I will still make it on stage for my role, but I'm gonna be late. And I showed up to the theater. I'll try to text you a picture of this. And I showed up to the theater in full hair and makeup. And the guy was like, how are you gonna be ready? Because I have a full sleeve. Like I have a tattoos everywhere.
Right.
So I had to not only take off this wig, all the
To
hair and
cover the
makeup, but
tats.
cover up my entire sleeve on both sides. I have lots of tattoos. I had to cover up all my tattoos to play this character, and I got to the show about 10 minutes after it started already. So he was like, "There's no way he's gonna be
Oh my
on."
gosh.
He was like, "There's no way he's gonna be on camera for I mean on stage for Ogie in 30 minutes when he's in fully in drag and showed up
Oh
in
my
drag."
gosh.
And it was just hilarious. So I took a picture dressed in drag as Ogie, and it was very very funny.
Did you make it?
I did make it. I did make
Oh,
it. It
but
was a
what
tight squeeze,
happened?
but I made it. I made it.
Um, I'm gonna get you out of here. I know it's past time. I have a couple more questions.
Okay, and I'll be
Um,
brief because I know I talk a lot, but I'm just so
oh no,
excited to see you.
I am happy to have like, honey, I could keep you on here for 2 hours. I'm trying to like honestly, um, oh, now I just lost my train of thought. Um,
You have 2 more questions.
yes, one of the things that I wanna know, oh, your wigs. When you have a lot of videos, when you have, like, a lot of different wigs, do you design those? Do you hire somebody else to design those? Like, do you have a vision? Are you the one who has the vision for it? Like,
I always have a vision for it, but I'm not the person who designs them, but I'm very hands-on, and I will say I want it ombre from bubblegum pink to hot pink, or I want these colors in it, turquoise yellow and hot pink. I'll tell them what colors I want, and I'll always give references of things that I've seen that have inspired said look. But usually I trust like the people that do my hair from his one of them's name is Caesar. He's awesome. He does Normani and Sierra's hair all the time. So I'm just like so flattered that he takes the time out to touch my head.
oh,
Um, and yeah, I just Zach Killian. I just have these awesome wig designers that work with me, and I just love transforming. I love what a wig can do for you, and people who don't play with their hair and try different things, they don't understand what a transformation it can make, not only to your physical appearance, but to the way you feel, the way you move, the way you act. Like I've
right.
been in cats and didn't feel like I was the rum tum tugger until I put the wig on. And also my Lola didn't come to life until I put the wig on. And I think the Lola you see at the beginning who sings Land of Lola and the Lola who has the whole like long blonde Beyonce fantasy are almost two different complete characters.
Right.
Your hair can just totally change so much about you and who you are. A lot of confidence comes from your hair. Like there are days where I'm like, wow, I just am really not cute, and I'm realizing why I'm single. And then I'll go get a
Shut
haircut and I'll be like,
up!
bitch, you can't tell me nothing.
You
I
can't
am
tell me
it.
shit!
Yes.
Okay,
So
and yeah, so do you have, like, a natural hair journey, or has it always been, like, tapered, all like, for your own hair, the way it grows out of your scalp?
I just recently cut my hair off. It was natural for the past year, I would say. And I would just use one of those sponges and like twist it up and try to give it some shape. But now I just am kind of like, it's quarantine. I don't want to have to deal with it. And so I just
Absolutely.
want something that when I get up, I'm ready to go and I'm presentable and can be seen by other humans.
I can't imagine you not being able to be seen, Todrick.
No, honey,
Like,
I can get there. I can get there fast.
I
It's
know.
not cute. I can look really homeless really fast.
Shut up!
No
Shut
offense to the
up!
homeless
But you've,
community.
like, dyed your hair many times too, so, like, and
So
that's
many different colors, yeah.
um, okay, and I wanna know, let's see here. We talked about how you are a role model for many, for boys, but also girls, like, just people of all ages, shapes, sizes, colors, all the things. when who were your role models when you were growing up? Like who did you look to? Was there any
I don't know that I looked at people as role models from their personal life, but the people who inspired me the most were Beyonce. I loved Brandy. I watched a lot of
Me
Disney
too.
movies, and I would say Oprah. I grew up watching Oprah and listening to the things that she said. I loved Oprah because my mom loved Oprah so much, and I loved her interviews. And I think that I absorbed a lot of the tools that make me the person that I am today from watching her. But I would say I kind of grew up watching Disney movies, and those people were my role models.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's
Like,
really shocking, honestly. It's very out of the box. A lot of people don't know that I love Disney so much.
can we talk about your background?
My Disney VHS wall. The cool part is that all the VHSs are still in the cases.
Oh my gosh!
So if you want to watch any Disney movie, because I pretty much have every single Disney movie, I'm subscribed to Disney Plus, but I don't need it because I have every Disney VHS you could ever ask for, and
For
then some.
for those who are listening and are not watching this broadcast, Todrick has a wall of VHS tapes, and I thought it was like wallpaper. They're actual VHS with the VHSs in them. It's just a
Yeah.
wall of Disney movies. It's like it's incredible. All right, last question for you, and then I'll let you go live
Okay.
your best life.
Aw.
Okay, so I've been thinking about like I know for me personally, when I'm high vibe, when I'm operating at a high frequency, I can get a lot of things done. And I feel like Superwoman. I can talk to people and um, have people want to do things for me. And when I'm low vibe and operating at a low frequency, it's like pulling teeth, being productive, and which is why I'm just like, let me operate like up here because that's when I can live my best life.
Yeah.
I want I wanna know how often would you say that you first part of the question, how often would you say that you are high vibe?
I'm pretty high vibe oftentimes, but I feel like I have to be on a lot when I'm out in public. And so I think that when I'm at home, sometimes I'm like recharging because I feel like I have to always be smiling and make sure that
Mhm.
every single person that I meet, if they're a fan or supporter of mine, that I'm like giving them the best version of myself so they have a great experience. And it is kind of exhausting, but it is just a
Yes.
part of the what you sign up for. I think when you decide that you want to be a public figure or when you become a public figure, it doesn't happen accidentally for most people. So you had to work really hard typically to get to this point. And if you do, then I think that's just one of the responsibilities that comes with it, for me at least. So I think that I'm not super, super low energy, but I think sometimes people meet me and they say that I'm a lot more chill than they would have expected me to be.
Well, you're very chill and I know that you're so busy and like you're always writing songs. You're always recording. You're always working on a million things, which is why I'm like, you have time for my little podcast? Thank you.
Oh
But
my gosh.
I know how busy you are.
Well,
And so
I think that you are one of the few genuine people in this industry that I've met, and you've never changed. You are the most humble person. You're so incredibly talented. What I love most about you is that I meet so many people who have like been so scarred by the world that they like they won't wear their heart on their sleeve. They won't go full out. Like there's no director that's going to ever say to you, "Salisha, I need more from you," because you will just give them whatever and you don't care. You will go there and you will be whatever character they tell you to be. And that's just like a director's dream and a performer's dream, to work on stage with someone who is like that. So I think the world of you, and there would never be a time where I wouldn't cancel plans to make time
oh
for you,
my
because I just think
gosh.
you're incredible and you've been very sweet to me every single time I've ever seen you since the day I met you. Always the same person, never changed. And I just love you and could not give you a higher Yelp review if I tried.
I'm like literally sweating. Like, thank
You're
you.
so welcome. It's all true. It's all true.
Oh my gosh, my heart is so big for you. I'm like, the I w- yeah, I never even got to the second part of the question because I'm like, so thank you, Todrick.
Sorry, I attacked you with compliments. You can resume your questioning now.
I thank you. My heart's so big for you. I wanted to know like when you're not on, when you're not feeling on top of the world, how are you able to still get as much done as you do?
I think that life is a roller coaster. Like I said, I love doing this so much. There's a lot of people who love to perform, but they like partying just as much, or they like drinking and socializing and, going to the beach just as much. And I'm just not one of those people. I love performing so much that it's the only thing that I like to do. So a lot of times people are like, you work so hard. And I do definitely agree. I don't know anybody that I personally have ever met that works as hard as I do, but I don't
Right.
look at it as work, which is the reason why I work so much. I love doing everything, like even this interview I've enjoyed doing. Um, so I don't even, what was the question again? I don't even remember what the
Oh,
question was.
that when like if you don't feel like showing up, if you feel like especially during this pandemic when things can be like, oh my gosh, sometimes you want to wear your pajamas like and not do anything. Like when you are not feeling like on or that you even want to be on, how are you able to go to the drawing board and create something new? Like it just seems
Yeah,
constant.
there are moments when I just stop and I watch Big Brother and I like go watch Disney movies, but all of the things that I watch, somehow when I watch them, it inspires an idea. And when I get excited about the idea, I just work on the idea and I don't it's never a moment where I'm like, "Oh, I have to work on this." I'm excited to work on this. I'm frustrated that I have to do other things like real things like go to the DMV or something. I'm annoyed that I have to do those things because I really, really want to just only focus on music. So I think it's just one of those things that I was created to do this. Because
Yes.
I don't think about it. I very rarely am in situations where I'm like, I really, really words can express how much I don't want to write this song and I don't want to do this show. There are moments where I'm just exhausted when I'm on tour, but the second I get on stage and see those kids' faces, that
It's
all
all worth
goes
it.
away. When I'm sitting in the makeup chair, those are things I don't like doing, sitting in the makeup chair because I'm so antsy and like want to be moving around. And on my last tour, I had to sit in the makeup chair and for 2.5 hours every single night to get my makeup done, and I hated it. Um,
Oh my
but it
gosh.
was but it was worth it, in the end. But I just am not. I don't like to sit around and be like primped and pampered. I think people would be really surprised to know that I'm always wearing sweatpants all the time. In fact, I only am dressed up from here to here, and I'm wearing sweatpants.
Shut up.
I'm wearing sweatpants on the bottom, and as soon as I get off of this, I'm gonna put those sweatpants back on and spend
Yes.
the rest of my day in sweatpants. So I lounge around a lot, and I don't leave my house a lot. Like that's why my house is decorated like this big whimsical Pee Wee Herman paradise because this is where I feel creative, and my house just exudes creativity. It's hard not to be uplifted and inspired when you're in a house that's totally catered to all things that make you happy. It's Disney, Beyonce, Wizard of Oz, and Broadway all over my house. It's like I stay happy.
I am so inspired. I just feel like as soon as I get out, I'm like, what can I go create? What can I like? Oh, let me go like redecorate so I feel more inspiration. Like these walls are white up in here. I'm like, what am I gonna put up on these walls, honey?
Well, I
um,
also think it's a big thing is you are also the company that you keep, and I think that that is very true. Oftentimes, when I see people who aren't very productive and who are like, I don't know why things haven't happened to me, I hang out with them for a day, and I like low key want to be like, well, I can tell you 20 reasons just from hanging out with you for 24 hours why things aren't happening for you, and a lot of it has to do with your friends. If you yearn to be around people who are like, all I want to do is sit down, drink, and smoke, watch TV, and not do anything or just party every day, then you're probably going to be a partier. I started realizing recently
oh
when I would be working with people, Instagram can kind of be a read. If you follow someone on Instagram, you can tell a lot about what that person is and how the world sees that person from the people that Instagram suggests for you to follow once you follow that person. And I think there's a lot of people who perceive
wow.
themselves differently than, I mean, those analytics on Instagram, they don't lie. So like I think there's a lot of people that they're like, yeah, I hang out with those people, but I'm not them. And I sometimes want to be like, no shade. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being them, but if you don't think that you are them, then you're not being very self-aware. And I think self-awareness is a huge thing that we have to have in this industry. You have to be able to know your type, know what you can go for, know what you can sing, know what roles might be right for you. I think that's a really important part of it. So I don't know. I just think that is also important. I surround myself with a lot of people who are also motivated, who are also inspired, and who also inspire me. It's very difficult not to get off the phone with Taylor Swift and want to go write an album because you're so excited and
Right.
you absorb so much positive energy and so much inspiration from being around someone like a Taylor Swift, someone like a Billy Porter, someone like RuPaul. And when you're hanging out with those people, if you don't soak up some of their residual success, then I don't know, like
Right. What do you
you know, what are you doing? I don't know.
What are you
Um,
doing?
yeah.
Um, can you please have you written a book? Are you gonna write a book? Because just sharing so much wisdom and knowledge that is relatable that people can like really learn from. I'm like, can you would you be able to sit down long enough to write a book?
I would. I actually have ideas for books right now, and one of them is a fictional novel. But I do think that every time I talk to people, it's very common that they say you should write this in a book because there's a lot of things that it's a lot of what we want is difficult, but it is also not that hard. It's just you have to be willing to do the work to get there, and the work ethic is the thing that's hard. And I think if people knew that it was just a work ethic adjustment versus like the world always being against them, because if I can do it as a gay black man, then a lot of people don't really have that many excuses. And so I just I would like to write a book, but I don't know that a lot of people who would easily feel attacked would like to hear what I have to say. But I do think it's important for them to know that because this industry is hard, and that's another reason why I respect you so much and why I respect the Broadway community so much because I have done so many aspects of the industry from working with celebrities and their videos to being doing YouTube and social media, doing reality shows, being a judge on those reality shows, and no one in any industry works as hard as people on Broadway to fine tune not just one but three crafts to be able to sing, dance, act, and if you're black and a dancer, probably tumble as well. You is a requirement in order to get those jobs. Just saying. Um, People don't have that work ethic. They don't know what it means to show up every day and retell the same story 8 shows a week and make it feel fresh, and to be able to have to make sacrifices of what you can eat and what you can drink and how much sleep you have to have in order to be able to be Elphaba or to be Anna and Elsa or to be Lola and Kinky Boots. They don't know what that discipline does not exist in a lot of places other than on Broadway. And when I go back to Broadway and see how people work and how dedicated they are to their craft and the sacrifices that they've made, not only to get to that point, but to maintain that consistent performance, it's just it is the most like fulfilling thing to be around people who actually care and who are not just there to get Instagram followers or a verified check. It's just so refreshing. And so I just respect Broadway so much. I love everything about it. And that's why my team and I have been raising money during this pandemic to send to Broadway Cares to help the performers who are out of work during this time, because Broadway is my first love. Being in the theater is the one thing that I will do as a form of escapism, or as a form of entertainment. If you give me one free day, I will try to find a way to get my ass to New York and get in a theater because I love it. It's the one thing that makes people turn off their phones and listen to stories, listen to lyrics. You can't just be somebody who's just hot and be able to get a role. You must be able to do the craft and sing the notes on the page, and not just one time to shoot it for a video. You have to be able to do it.
Eight
And there are
times a
very few.
week
8 times, and
plus
sometimes you got a
press.
Macy's parade and
Yes.
yes, yes,
Yes.
press.
Yes, and then stage
Eh,
door after.
yeah, a stage door after, so you can inspire the next generations. And 54 below, you got all of these things, and then you got,
All these things.
I don't know what they call Gypsy of the Year now because that's not politically correct, but they have like a whatever an Easter bonnet. You're raising money for Broadway Cares. I mean, that being on Broadway is one of the most difficult things in the entertainment industry, and I think that you are the consummate professional, and you don't really know what hard work is in the entertainment industry if you have never been in a Broadway show.
Well,
Period.
freaking said. Well, freaking said. And honestly, like looking at you as like a black man, like you're like the definition of like successful black men. There's like no mediocre successful black. You are above and beyond the like.
Thank you. Oh, you're
Yes,
so sweet. Well, I
I,
love you.
I love you. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank
Thank you
you
for
for having
sharing
me.
your heart and your wisdom and your love, Todrick. I love you so much.
I love you so much back. Thank you for matching me and wearing pink. And I
Thank
hope
you.
to
I
see
know
you
you're my
again
little
soon.
Thank you. Okay, don't actually sign off, but, like, thank you so much. I love you.
All right.
Mwah.
Love you too.